Thousands more jobs are to go in the aviation industry. The plane maker Airbus is the latest to lay off workers.
1,700 jobs will go between this site in North Wales and Filton near Bristol. Unions say this is an act of industrial vandalism. The government says not every job can be saved.
Life in lockdown. Shops in Leicester close their doors as schools prepare to send pupils home.
He's done it. 5-year-old Tony Hudgell completes his charity walk, raising more than £1 million. We'll be looking back at his inspiring journey.
Let's have a look at the papers this morning. The Guardian leads with a warning from scientists that more local lockdowns could be on the way as restrictions are tightened in Leicester following a rise in coronavirus cases.
The Mirror this morning focusing on Boris Johnson's pledge to spend £5 billion to help the UK's economic recovery. The paper carries a warning from unions saying that the plans may not be enough to prevent mass job losses.
The Bank of England's chief economist says the UK's economy is rebounding from the lockdown far faster than expected, according to the Times newspaper. The picture is of 58-year-old Mal Martin, who's preparing to return home to his wife and children after recovering from coronavirus, 2 months after he was told he had almost zero chance of survival.
And one of the most read stories on the BBC News website this morning is about how many of us are getting more active since lockdown started. Demand for an NHS-backed running app is up 92%. That's on the same time last year. It's been downloaded by, wait for it, 858 million people between March and June. That's a staggering number, isn't it?
It really is. I wonder how many of them are running.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, you know, when you're revising for an exam and
you buy all the books.
You organise your desk and you think that's part of the revision, but you've actually got to do it, haven't you?
Yeah. We were talking about universities, weren't we, and what's going to happen when they go back in September or October, whenever they go back. And this is interesting about interviews as well, because Oxford University, there's kind of like the interview process is pretty daunting. You have to go and stay overnight in one of those ancient colleges before a sort of grilling in a Don's bookline study. This is the way they've written it, at least in the Times. Now they're saying that actually, instead of face-to-face the first time, the university is going to turn to online admissions interviews. Video conferencing software will be used. I don't know which is... Maybe it's not so tough because you're actually sort of in the comfort of your own home, aren't you? So you're in that sort of environment, but still I imagine quite scary. You quite like some of these questions. No. Yeah, no, I'm not going to. You don't have to answer them, but I know that you.
Sweating already.
Yeah, exactly. Queries such as how much of the past can you count? Why do lions have manes? Random, well, not random questions, but questions that have actually been asked. Also, they've said things like, "Here is a cactus. Tell me about it. What does this rock look like?" I mean.
A rock.
Yeah. Oh, very. Anyway, there you go. So I'm not sure they'd be much easier actually as well.
The most watched movies, right, that we are re-watching during lockdown. Have a guess at some of these ones that are being re-watched all the time. So people are returning to their favourite movies.
Well, I've watched the whole of Star Wars.
OK, Star Wars is on the list. Apparently, during the ages of between 18 and 60, on average, people watch Star Wars, each Star Wars movie individually, 11 times. But
during lockdown?
No, not during lockdown.
Okay.
So, but you are returning to your favourite films.
Yeah.
Dirty Dancing, Die Hard and The Wizard of Oz are top of the tree. So on average, people watch Dirty Dancing 12 times in their life. Have you? How many times do you
Probably
actually?
up to about 5 or 6.
Okay, right. Okay.
Still quite a lot of life
What's
left.
the bit that keeps you coming back? Is it the dance at the end, or is it no one puts baby in a corner type thing?
It's the whole thing.
Right. Okay.
It's the whole thing.
The whole thing. And the other ones on it: Lethal Weapon, Top Gun, first Harry Potter, Lion King, Breakfast Club, Back to the Future, The Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, and Jaws. So those are the ones that we keep coming back to, and people say they make because times have been difficult for the last few months. A bit of comfort watching goes a long way. The government is being urged to act more quickly to provide local councils with information about potential spikes in coronavirus cases. This is after criticism over the length of time it took to get testing data to officials in Leicester. The British Medical Association wants ministers to be more open and transparent with information that they say is vital in containing outbreaks. Now, in the last few minutes, some news to bring you. The company that owns Upper Crust, the sandwich shops, says that up to 5,000 jobs there are under threat.
SSP Group, which also owns Cafe Ritazza, says it needs to make changes because of the huge fall in the number of passengers at railway stations, airports due to the coronavirus pandemic.
So that's happened in the last sort of 20 minutes or so. Also on this programme, we're speaking to the boss of Ryanair, Michael O'Leary, who's told us that the airline industry is facing its biggest crisis. It comes as the world's largest manufacturer of aeroplanes. Airbus announces it's cutting thousands of jobs. 1,700 of those will be in the UK. They'll be affected in Bristol and in North Wales, while 15,000 jobs are going to be lost globally. EasyJet has also announced plans to close 3 of its UK bases.